Hey guys, welcome back to Pocket Change Performance. We're going to be working on the 2000 SS SLP today. I posted a video earlier this week about the belt issue. So we bought a new tensioner and we're going to get that installed. So come check out the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. The first thing we're going to do to put on the new tensioner is we're going to release the old belt. You can see it was chewing up the belt here. So the bolt on that is going to be a 15 millimeter. And we're just going to go ahead and move that tensioner and get that belt to release here. And take that off. And then just let it go back. And let the belt fall down. Now the two bolts on the tensioner are also 15 millimeter. I prefer to work with hand tools. A lot of people like to use impact guns. I like to use hand tools. So we're going to go ahead and try to get those bolts off and see how this works out. So we're going to put the 15 on there. I'm going to try to break these suckers. All right, they're coming off pretty easy. So the first one is pretty loose. And now we'll go on to the second one on the bottom. We'll break that one loose. May not fit with the extension, so I'm going to take the extension off on that one. And we're just going to go straight with the socket. No extension. So we're going to get that guy on there. And we're going to try to break that loose, okay? No problem there. Both came loose pretty easy. So now I'm just going to take the socket off, and I'm going to have it help me loosen the bolt up. So we'll get those loosened up. When you go to put these bolts back in, I always like to use some grease. That way they always come out easier. Obviously this car is not driven during the winter or in the rain, so it's in pretty good shape. Doesn't really get too much rust. So we'll get the first bolt out there. There's the first one, no problem. Set that there, and then we'll move on to the second one here. I might have to use the ratchet to loosen it a little bit to get it to loosen up some more. Okay, got the ratchet on there a couple times. Now we'll go ahead and unscrew that one. And I'm hoping this solves the problem. I still got to grab a new belt as well. I ordered the tensioner off of Amazon, and I'll put the item number in the description. It's about less than half the price on Amazon than it is at AutoZone or Advanced Auto. Unfortunately, I have been buying a lot of my parts off Amazon lately due to that fact. And it is the AC Delco, so it's an OEM replacement, obviously. So for $22 versus I think it was almost $55 or $60 at AutoZone, much cheaper. So. All right, we got the second one off. You know, sometimes I painted all my stuff when I had the engine apart, so you can see mine is painted. I'm probably not going to paint the new one because it is nice and clean. So we'll go ahead and get that new one on there. You can see here's the new one right here. Same thing. Just going to get that sucker back on there. I'm probably just going to wipe down the area before I put that one on. So I'm just going to grab a rag and wipe that down a little bit. I like to keep my engine bay clean, so I try to wipe down anything I can whenever I have it apart, because you know these engines are kind of tight versus the old V8s, so it's always good to wipe things down. So as I said, I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the threads because it makes it going easier. You can kind of see I got some grease on the threads there. And we'll go ahead and get that new tensioner started. And I'm going to start with the top one. I asked some people about going with different tensioners. I know my friend did one of the self-adjusting ones. I talked to another guy. He said he'd heard horror stories about those. So, you know, the stock one worked pretty good with my car for quite a long time. I think it's, you know, the one that's on here is probably 10 years old. So I just decided to go with the stock one. And we'll see if I continue to have issues with the belt. If not, we know it was definitely the tensioner, and just replacing the with the stock one works, and that way, you know, it saves us money. We don't have to worry about adjusting the belt as it gets looser or anything like that. So we'll just go ahead and get this tightened up now. I'm just going to use the socket to tighten it a little bit more as it gets tighter in there. It gets a little tougher, and honestly, I like to wear gloves to keep my hands clean, but it's a lot easier to turn the sockets without gloves. So I'm going to go ahead and take my gloves off and just get these tightened up. So I'm just going to snug them both before I torque them down. So those are both tightened down good now. My fingers, and we'll go ahead and torque those down with the 1/2-inch wrench now. Now, we're going to have to get the extension on that one because the pulley's actually in the way some. It's not getting on the bolt all the way. We'll put the extension on for the top one, and then we'll have to take it off for the bottom one. And just get those tight where you can push down, torque it down a little bit, and rock back and forth with it. You don't want to over tighten it, so just get it good and tight. So you can see here, I'm going to put my hand on the end just so it doesn't slip. And I'll just tighten it a little bit here. Check again, and we should be good. So that's it. New pulley's installed. And I can tell you, I can hear the difference. This one's a lot smoother. No noise. Hear me spinning the wheel? Listen to that one. Bearings pretty much shot in that. So I'm betting that's what our problem was. And I'm sure the spring was worn out in it. So hopefully that'll solve a problem. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please make sure you share the channel. And if you want to see any other videos, let us know. Thanks.